Angry guy here, and society is going to hell as men abandon it. Society is going to hell as men abandon it. Guys, things are not going so well right now. Things are going pretty nasty in society. I mean, we're beginning to finally see the pushback from the average consumer. People are beginning to cut back on takeout. I know a lot of you guys are like, you shouldn't eat at McDonald's anyway. A lot of you guys are so damn sassy. But you know, one of the things that helped a lot of people in life was being able to go and grab a cup of coffee, grab a burger, because life is hard. Just being able to, being able to afford basic things. Fast food was fast and cheap. It's no longer fast. It's no longer cheap, to put it simply. And in some cases, it's not even fast. Some of these times, sometimes you order from like DoorDash or Uber, or you go to the restaurant itself, and the wait is so long, it's ridiculous. And a lot of consumers now are basically furious at the prices. And the McDonald's CEO is like, "Oh, we hear you, and we're going to take actions." And it's not just McDonald's; it's it's fast food in general. It's now costing as much to eat at these places as a sit down restaurant. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. You know, I was watching a video from this young woman. She said that, she's a Gen Zer, evidently, and she went to go and get a massage. She needed a massage. She wasn't feeling great. So she went to get a massage and she called ahead and she asked how much is a massage, and they told her $80. So she goes to the place where she's gonna get the massage, and the woman asked her to pay up front. So she's like, "Oh, okay, fine, whatever." So she goes to pay up front, and she pays the $80 using her card, but then it says below, like, below the payment, you know uh gratuity, like tip. So she looks at it and she says, "Well, you know what, if she says, if I was like rich, I would love to give her $30 or whatever, but it's 80, I'm paying $80 for the massage. So and so, I'll give $5." So she wrote down $5, and she gives like the receipt back to the lady, and the lady looks down at it, and she goes, "That's it." And this is like a young girl, like, this girl's like, maybe, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. And the woman literally goes, "That's it." And she says, "Well, how much is it supposed to be?" And she says, like a minimum of $20 to $30. $20 to $30. So the girl says, usually she would just comply, but she said that here, like, she decided to stand up for herself. And she stood up for herself and said, "Well, listen, I'm already spending $80 for the massage, so it's five. But if I think $5 is good enough. I mean, if she said, when I go out to eat, I always tip like 20%, but this is an $80 massage, so it's already $80. If I went out to eat and I was like, it's a $30 meal, I'll tip 20% on that. But I'm not going to tip you, 20. I'm not going to tip you 20% on a. I'm going to tip you 20% on a on a uh, on a on a $80 massage. By the way, she was saying she was saying that a minimum tip should be between $20 and $30. So if think about this very carefully, like at 20%, that would have been like $16. So, and she's saying $20 to $30. So she's actually asking for tips that are more than 20%. Like, she's literally saying you need to tip more than 20%. Like, what the living hell? And this is like the continuous thing that we're seeing in society today. It's only getting worse. Check out this article. So it says Disney Plus and Hulu are losing subscribers as people flock to piracy sites. I can't stand piracy. Like, I can't stand, the viruses and the stress and all that stuff. But guess what? People don't care. Subscribers to Disney Plus fell 7% year over year in the last quarter of 2023. Streaming was supposed to basically stop media piracy. When services like Netflix and Spotify first popped up, they offered subscribers access to thousands of movies, films, TV shows, and songs, all ad free for a relatively low monthly fee. But visits to media piracy websites were on the rise in 2023, according to a new industry report by data firm Muso. And as piracy shoots up, streamers subscriber bases are dropping. Services like Disney Plus and Hulu are steadily losing customers, with paid subscriptions down by as much as 7% by the end of the year. That's massive. Those are massive numbers. 7% of say 200 million subscribers is absolutely massive. All right, we're talking about like 14 million people. 14 million people. That's huge amounts of money that they're losing. Changes in piracy consumption and the streaming landscape can explain the reported uptick in the practice, which cost the U.S. entertainment industry between 29 billion and 71 billion dollars a year. It's hard to get people to pay for something that they know they can get for free. And Michael D. Smith, a professor of information technology and public policy at Carnegie Mellon University, a shift from download based piracy to streaming based piracy, he added, can mean that consumers are visiting piracy websites more often to access the same media. Muser recorded 229.4 billion visits to piracy websites in 2023, an increase of 6.7% from the previous year. TV accounted for most of the visits at 103.9 million, up 4% from 2022. It was followed by film at 29.6 billion visits, an increase of about 7%. Music piracy saw the highest growth in media pilfering, a 13% increase with 17.1 billion visits in 2023. It is harder than ever to actually access media. It's very, very strange. It's very sad, but it's harder than ever to access music. Music is basically something that you have to now stream, and it's unfortunate that you have to stream it now because it's like it's so much harder to like just purchase your songs. And it's like, oh, if you want to listen to this song, it's on Spotify. Oh, we have this on YouTube Premium, and the cost just keeps going up and up and up. I don't even know what I'm paying for YouTube Premium anymore. I think I'm spending like 15, almost $16 a month on YouTube Premium right now, and it's like you don't even pay attention, guys. So it's like personally for me, like the amount of money I'm losing on food is just so high that I don't even pay attention to my streaming plans anymore. I'm just like so stressed out with the high cost of food. It's literally like something's changing. Like I'm literally like at the point now where I'm like literally shuffling things around. Where even though because like my situation right now is like I can't actively cook very often, so so I'm just shuffling some things around to like fix that so that because I can't deal with these crazy food expenses anymore. I just cannot do it. And I'm a person, I make good money. I make really, really good money. And and it's just kind of annoying that I make this amount of money and I'm still feeling like the cost of food. And then so I can imagine like when you have these people who are crying over groceries at the supermarket. I mean, I can spend a couple $1,000s on a month. I can have a food bill of $1,500 a month, and that would be cheap for me. So a lot of you are like, what, 1,500 exactly? So it's like I don't. So it's like it's just like so that's why it, like pisses me off. Like my bill is like sometimes double that. Like I can easily spend $3,000 a month on food, and it's just literally for nothing. Like where like I'm not eating a lot. Like literally, like bro, just like a Big Mac meal for McDonald's is $18. Like what? Come on. And some of you in the comments have said, dude, don't eat McDonald's, it's terrible for you. I know. And that's why I said, like, we're like, it's going to change. Like, it's going to change. It's going to change. Like, I'm just like, I look at what's happening with a lot of other people. And like these modern women can't afford anything. They're living off the simp economy. And they're living off the simp economy and they're crying and hollering and screaming that men are walking away from society. And you know what? It doesn't matter because men are done with this. Men are basically focusing on themselves, their happiness, their wealth, their mental health, their well being. And it's only going to continue going downhill like this, as we continue on this path. I mean, you can see that as men are abandoning society, the economy is taking a massive nosedive. They say that, oh, the job market is great, and yet it's harder than ever to get a job today. And a lot of this is because men are giving up on Western society and just saying, you know what, I'm done. Like you talk about things like tyranny, and the only thing that stops tyranny are men. And when men basically say we're done with society, pretty much anything goes. And modern women, they have this notion that they're that they can, if the government doesn't treat them fairly, they'll go and stop the government, and they don't, while at the same time they're accomplices with it. It's like they don't understand how things absolutely work. Like, they're under the control of the government. They traded in men for the government, and they seem to think that they're in this delusional state where they don't realize, well, you're the government's problem now, and they're in complete control of you. And don't try to turn around and say, oh, you're gonna turn to men and expect men to come and rescue you, because it's not going to happen. This is the reason why foreign women are competing for Western men, because they want to take these men and use these men to build their own societies. Like, this is what's happening in the Philippines. That's what's happening in Thailand. That's what's happening in Africa. These countries want to take these women have multiple motives. I'm telling you right now, women like Soraya, they have multiple motives. They want to take these men to Western society, and they want to make their country stronger. It's the truth. It's smart. They're taking these men, and guys, I told you, men are going to create their empires. Men walking away from Western society, these passport kings, are going to create their empires all around the world. And you guys are going to see this. Literal empires are going to start rising up all around the world, and the women are going to take root in these empires. And just in the coming years, people are going. This was a prediction someone actually had made many years ago. I wish I could find it, where they predicted that it was going to get a society was going to become so difficult for women in Western society. The world was going to look at women in Western society and ask, how did women end up in the extremely destitute state they are in Western society? And this is something that is happening right now. And modern women are basically they're they are so they are so deep in their ego. Many of them they will become homeless, and they will continue trying to claim that they are tough and boss babes and all this other stuff, while they cannot while they can barely survive. I told you about the story where a woman was living in a storm drain, and the guy interviewing her basically just flipped out on her at some point, because she was talking about all the different things that she deserved and how special she was, and she was going to get the man that she wanted, and she wanted a specific kind of man. And this woman was like in like her late 50s. Like, I think she was like in her late 50s. These women like look so are early. I don't think she was in her 60s, but a lot of women, when they go down, when they're not living well, they age so much faster. And she was living in a storm drain, and she was talking about she was going to get the kind of man that she wanted to get, and she was crying her eyes out while saying this. And the guy interviewing her, dude, flipped out on her. He literally stopped her. He's like, listen, he says something like, listen, Sarah, you're living in a storm drain, okay? You're living in a no, 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 stop with the delusion. You are living in a storm drain. Do you not know where you are? Like, she literally had put herself in this position, and she was dragging herself further down, refusing to make any compromises, because she was going to get exactly what she wanted. And this is where that saying comes from: stop trying to save them, they don't want to be saved. Guys, what do you think about this? Because I think it's absolutely insane where society is absolutely headed right now, and women are heading up in extraordinary destitute states. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Society is going to hell as men abandon it. What do you guys think about this? I want to know what you guys think, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWAM and walking away, and cheers.